Hi everyone, it's Maura Paula. I know a lot of us love collecting pine cones, and I know in the front of my house I have a huge pine tree and millions of pine cones. So we're going to do an experiment and talk about pine cones. The pine cone comes from a pine tree, and the tree does not have flowers or fruit, but it does grow pine cones. And these pieces that are on the pine cone are called scales. And each scale has two seeds at the bottom of the scale. And then you see this piece here is the stem, and that's what is attached to the tree. And most of the pine cones are found near the tops of the tree. So the reason that pine cones are called pine cones is because they come from a pine tree and they're shaped like a cone. And the scales in seed-bearing pine cones, that means these pieces here, these are called the scales, and each one that has seeds, they move in response to changes in humidity. And that means that when it's warm and dry out, they open up to release the cone seeds. See, so these are open, and if they were on the tree, the seeds would be able to come out. And when it's damp or cold out, then the scales close up. And I have some that have already closed up, as you can see, and we're going to do this as our experiment in a moment. So on dry days, the pine cones release seeds. The seeds come out and blow around to get planted. And the pine cones fold their scales when it rains. You see here that they're now folded up and close together, and this was in water, so that acts like rain. They close up so that the seeds do not come out and only fall in one spot. When it rains, only the outside of the scales of the pine cones get wet. So this part out here, and then little by little, the raindrops move to the inside scales, and this keeps the pine cones from getting too wet. And once they dry, they open up again. So our experiment is going to be that we're going to put our pine cones in water, just like so, and see what happens. All you need is a bowl filled with water and as many pine cones that will fit. Push it down a little bit and wait and see what happens. You might want to have a control pine cone to see what it looks like when it's dry and all of the scales are open. Right now, they're still open, and it will take a while. It could take a day, it could take 2 days. And here, this is what they looked like when they were open, and this is what they look like now that they're all wet and closed up. So you're going to do your own experiment and see what happens. You could even draw pictures of before, when all the scales are open, and then you can draw new pictures of when the scales are closed. And that is our pine cone experiment. Have fun and see you next time. Bye-bye.